As a result of the Steven Adams injury, the Grizzlies quickly had to make some roster moves. They had to do a little pivoting. They've converted rookie Kenneth Lofton Jr. to a standard contract that makes him eligible to play in the playoffs. Lofton spent much of the year playing for the Memphis Hustle. He was a two-way player at that point, and all he did was be G League Rookie of the Year, averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, nearly 4 assists for the Hustle. Unfortunately, that means they had to make roster space for Lofton, and Kennedy Chandler is the casualty. His rookie G League teammate becomes that casualty, gets waived, effectively making him a free agent to be picked up by another team. Chandler is a Memphis native, was drafted 38th overall in the second round. He put up 16 points and 5 assists a game in the G League, but he also played a lot of games for the Memphis Grizzlies this year, so they had about a good bit of guard depth. Now they're looking to make a little bit more forward depth with all the injuries. I think a lot of people were rooting for both of those guys, and we're sad to see Kennedy Chandler go. Parker, what do you think of these roster moves for the Grizzlies? Were they the right ones?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the right move because, they're thinking about how can we make ourselves better for the postseason. And with, like you said, their front court depth is decimated. They needed to call up Kenneth Lofton Jr., and unfortunately that means Kennedy Chandler had to go. But, I mean, Kenneth Lofton Jr., he's just taking advantage of whenever his number's called, he's answering it. I mean, just pointing out a game in the past, like that San Antonio Spurs game, he was pivotal in that comeback. And also, too, with Kennedy Chandler, when Ja Morant was suspended, he didn't even play. Like with the emergence of this Bane and Kennard duo, there just wasn't a developmental path for Kennedy Chandler. I do think he does have an NBA future, but right now the Grizzlies just had to do what's best for the team, and sometimes that leads to very tough decisions.
Yeah, Kennedy was really a great story all year, right? I was there on his draft night, got a chance to talk to him, and he shared how much it meant for him to be a part of this Memphis Grizzlies organization that he had grown up watching. Of course, Ja Morant FaceTimed him, right, on draft night to let him know that he had gotten picked. I think it's really sad. It's one of those things that, NBA is a business. Sharky, you're the beat writer a little bit down the stretch there for the Memphis Hustle. What do you think about bringing Lofton into the mix there? Is that the right move?
Yeah, I love it. Like Parker said, they need a big man. When Steven Adams is out, Brandon Clark is out, you need an extra big man for the postseason. They were waiting to see if Steven Adams was going to be back. After found out he's not going to be back, you got to make a move. And like Parker said, Kennedy Chandler didn't play when Ja Morant was out because they used Desmond Bane as a pseudo backup point guard. And I mean, that was just the route that they decided to take, and I'm all for it. It kind of hurt to hear it at first, but it was perfectly fine with me. I only covered Kenny Lofton for one game, which was his final game, which they lost in the playoffs when he got the Rookie of the Year before the game. And he looked well. I got to interview him afterward. He seems like he's ready. He looked like he's ready. You saw it today against Oklahoma City Thunder. So I think it was the right move.
Yeah, you make a great point about that Thunder game. Really went off. His name is going to be called here on the big stage here going into the playoffs. But one quick thing, I want to get your thoughts on what is the best aspect of his game before we get into our next topic.
It's his slow down, the ability. The Grizzlies are a great fast break team, a great, push the pace. Half court, they kind of lack, right? And that's where Kenneth Lofton comes to play. He can slow the game down, help them, especially come out the bench. They need extra bench help anyway, so he definitely helps in all those aspects. So half court offense and just extra body come out the bench that could score and rebound.
Parker?
Yeah, I mean, you just need to go get buckets. Obviously, losing.
He is a bucket getter, right?
Losing Brandon Clark, he provided a lot of pop off the bench, especially inside the paint. And, you see flashes of that with Kenny Lofton Jr., whether it's that mid-range shot, he can stretch it out to the three, but also what gives everybody those Zebo flashbacks is that high-low play that, getting him on the low block and just going to get a bucket. And, it's tough to see what his role's going to be in the postseason, but, I mean, he's answering the call. And who knows, maybe it could be giving some buckets down in the playoffs. Who knows?
At the end of the day, he's just going to be able to give Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santi Aldama a blow, right? And I think that's going to be one of the bigger things. And you never know. We think Luke Kennard is really going to have an impact with his ability to shoot the three ball. Lofton might be able to do the same, just with a different aspect. He can board, and we can see today, and we're going to show you here in a little bit, he can get buckets. So, he might be some points off the bench.